All right. What's up, YouTube? This is second episode of Still Standing. I have a guest today. Uh, this is Coach Dee. I'm going to read off some of her accolades before we get started. Um, she is the founder and CEO of Detox Life Coaching Services. She has a master's degree in psychology. She is a best-selling author. Here are her books. Get you one. It is Coach Dee's playbook, 5 ways to become a champion of self-love. Heal that shit. That's what y'all need to do. A spiritual journey with In My Soul. She and her wife are also owners of Creative Beauty Suites. She also models as well. That's a mouthful, y'all. It's a whole lot of shit. It's pretty cool. So, my first question before I really get started is, um, how does it feel? Because it seems like you're living your dreams right now.
How does it feel? It feels amazing. It feels amazing. You work so hard a lot of times for things, and you sometimes don't know if you're gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? But just to be in this space, it feels good, and I think more importantly, it feels good to me mentally and emotionally. To my mental health, feels good,
Yeah.
and that's been a huge struggle. And I ain't gonna tell y'all I'm perfect because I do have my days. We all do. But considering all the things that I've been through in my life and over the years, it feels good to be here. It feels good.
Cool. Okay, so tell us a little bit about where you came from and how you grew up.
Where am I from? I'm currently from Fort Worth, Texas, better known as Funky Town. So y'all who know Texas and Fort Worth, born and raised in Fort Worth. I migrated to Dallas. Dallas ain't that far from Fort Worth. We know that, right? 30 minutes, right? Um, over a decade ago. And I've been out here ever since, just building my life. But yeah, I'm originally from Fort Worth. Went to Everman High School, played ball. Grew up in mostly the Stop 6 Eastwood area, for all of y'all that know anything about Fort Worth.
The Fort Worth people know where that's at. What were some of the tough times in your life that has affected you as you started to become an adult?
I think, growing up for me, I was always around my family. That's all I knew was family, even if it was dysfunctional. Let's just be real. I was raised around my family, raised to be together. That's why I'm big on community. But at the same time, there was a lot of traumas and limited beliefs that came with that. And as I got older and started, being out on my own, life started lifing. And I realized that, OMG, like these traumas are following me. Now they're becoming bigger and prevalent. And that's when I realized I started dealing with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, even tried an attempt, which I talk about in my book. Both of them, actually.
Oh, both of them? Okay.
Both of them. Heal That Shit and Coach Dee's Playbook, but I really talk about it in this first one too. So it was tough, trying to believe in yourself, trying to feel accepted, especially being a Black queer woman coming from a heavily, and I do mean heavily, religious family. They're trying to change now. But it was tough for me. I was always constantly looking for validation, looking for acceptance. And that was really hard. So I really struggled mentally, even though I was taught to be strong. I was taught to keep going and press forward. I was struggling bad to believe in myself. Looking for love on the outside.
I know that feeling.
You say you know that feeling? He's like, I can relate to all that.
So at what point did you decide it was time to change your mindset and how, your life was going at that point?
I knew it was time for me when I just got tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of running into the same type of people, toxic relationships. It just seems like jobs. Even though I was trying to progress, I felt like it was always something pulling me back, bringing me down. And I just got tired of that rat race, of like, fuck, am I ever going to like get out of this? Am I ever going to be better? It was a struggle. And I remember in 2009 when I was finally going to get my bachelor's degree and graduate. That's a whole story I went through of resiliency. Graduate college for the first time. I was having these just suicidal, I was just having a lot of suicidal feelings. And, after that, I just couldn't take it. I didn't know what to do. Like, okay, after school, then what I'm gonna do? I was living place to place with family, friends. I just really wasn't as independent as I wanted to be. And so I tried to attempt suicide. And I was working at like, I think the Boys and Girls Club at that time, making like $8.50 an hour. And I'm like, damn, what am I going to do with my life? And I'm constantly hearing from my family how I wasn't going to amount to nothing because of my lifestyle, because I like women. God didn't like that. So I was believing this shit, right? And I think after that suicide attempt didn't work, I was like, I got to get some help. I really have to do something about this because this is killing me right now.
Yeah.
And that led me into a journey of like therapy and even wanting to learn about myself, because we didn't talk about no therapy growing up. It was like, go to God. What does that mean? Pray about it. I'm still having these same messed up thoughts that I don't know how to work through,
right.
And I honestly started giving up on God at one point because I was like, I don't understand why I'm going through all this. If you are a God of love and a God of abundance, and why am I going through all this? Not realizing that I was my own worst enemy.
A lot of us don't realize that.
That self-sabotage is,
man.
And that's when I started on this journey. But I had to get out of that, and it took some time, but I had to get out of that blame game, blaming my family, blaming my mother, blaming my past. I just had to figure out a way to get out of that and start looking at myself, all parts of me.
Okay. What would you tell? Oh, I didn't even ask that question. Okay, what about the journey was difficult when you were going through the therapy and trying to get to a better place in your life? What was difficult about it?
Changing the thought patterns. I remember being told, and it pissed me off at that time, but once I started going through my journey, I started to understand what this person meant. And they weren't rude or nothing when they told me this, but they expressed, I think you're cool, Dee. I just think that you say a lot of positivity, but it's toxic. And I said, what? I ain't never heard no positivity being toxic. What do you mean? And they were like, that's a such thing as toxic positivity. And when they broke it down for me, I was like, I had to think on it. But at first I did get pissed off. So I'm like, don't call me toxic and I'm trying to be positive. But what they meant was, you are basically putting out all this positive stuff, but you don't really believe it yourself. And you don't share those vulnerable parts of you. You don't share the rough parts of you. It's just all positivity. And what's really going to help people connect is your realness.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. Like, but that's what I was taught growing up. You didn't show.
Don't tell your business.
Yeah. What goes on in this house stays in this house, right? You don't show those vulnerable parts of you because people are going to judge you. That's what I was taught. So I struggled with that. Like, how much do I share? Even though I wanted to share, I'm like, damn, I know I can't be the only one going through these things. But because of my belief system, because of what I was taught, I struggled with that. So I had to start unlearning all that.
That can be a hard thing.
It was very hard. And here you talking about 2 books? Sharing parts of me, my story, parts of me
that's a brave thing to do.
It's very courageous. It was scary too. Yeah. This first book, the day I was supposed to launch it, I was with my wife and our best friend Sandy. Shout out wife and Sandy. I was with them and they were like, "You ready for this?" And I was freaking out. I was literally, nobody knows this. I'm gonna share it on your podcast.
Okay.
I was freaking out. I was having a panic attack, and they were like, "What is going on with you?" And I was like, "I just don't know if I'm ready to share this." They was like, hell no, you're gonna share this. This is gonna be great. I was like, what if people don't receive it? But here was the big thing that I was thinking. What about my family?
Yeah.
And they were like, Dee, you have a story. You're just sharing your experience. You have a story that's gonna help people. People need this.
Right.
So they meditated with me, got me together, and I put it out there. I remember I was scared to post it. I put it out there. That thing went viral. I think I had orders out the wazoo when I first launched. It was like over 500 likes, over 100 some shares. I was like, whoa. I mean, my orders were just coming in, and I was like, oh, wow. And that's when I knew, okay, y'all were right. And they were like, I told you, we were celebrating with our champagne and stuff, but being vulnerable was very tough for me on this journey to route it back, because I never really seen my mother be vulnerable or nobody. They would say things, but I don't really know a lot.
But if you think about it, in most families, being vulnerable, a lot of people think that's being weak.
I know.
And that's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing.
That's why people don't share how they feel.
Exactly.
I have my own thing with that. It's tough to be vulnerable with people because now they know something about you.
Yeah.
You want it. Oh, they're gonna use this against me.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. Especially us Black people. Let's just keep it real. And I'm with speaking that we are shifting our mindsets and we're coming more into the prosperity and coming out of poverty. But we have been. If we look at the numbers and what's going on right now, we are the most oppressed race of people, and you would think that we would be more supportive, more together.
Right.
But we are the main ones that create this belief that we shouldn't share things, that people are going to judge you. Mm-hmm. We don't ask for help.
What everybody else going to say.
That's all I heard growing up. I don't want so-and-so to think this. And I'm like, so what, when you listen to that as a child, what do you think you're going to grow up and do?
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself, which deprives us of getting the help we need.
Right. Exactly. That's true. Like, it took me, a minute, and I finally got with you, and I got a counselor. I got
shout out
what I needed to do.
Yeah, Marsha started building up her team of support. You got to.
And you got to do it every day. You don't just heal in one part of your life and stop.
Man,
you heal every day.
Every day.
Because that shit will come back at you, and you got to think to yourself, oh, nah, you're not doing that. Let me go talk real quick. And yes, pray. Talk to God. But you need to talk to somebody who is blessed enough to be able to help you with that. Because everybody can't do it. Mm-hmm. Talk to somebody who can help you.
That part. And everybody ain't out here to judge. I know that we sometimes feel like that, but I want to plug this and say that a lot of times it's just us judging ourselves. Mm-hmm. And even when we were taught that as children, they were judging themselves. So they taught us to do that. It's just a judgment of self. It's really, people ain't out here just there are people that will help you. Right. There are communities. We know it. We're in a beautiful one. Right. That will support you and appreciate you.
And get you some friends that do the same thing.
Get you some friends that do the same thing. A lot of y'all hear people say, oh, day ones. And I'm like, but you didn't outgrew these day ones. Why are you still hanging on to that?
That's true.
It's
tough. But
so, yeah, but these are things we learned. So that part of my journey was very tough. It was back and forth because I struggled with what I wanted to share, how much I needed to share. Anybody was going to say something or judge me, who was going to criticize me, all that.
Yeah.
I went through all that. I was like, man, crying, everything.
I get it.
I broke through, y'all.
Yeah. What would you tell somebody who's going through hard times and feels like giving up right now?
Ooh, what would I tell somebody who's going through a hard time and feels like giving up right now? I would tell them to keep believing in yourself, to find gratitude in your life, and just know that You may be going through something, but there is somebody else going through something worse. Like, I was just watching a documentary the other night about Nigeria, and just listening to like all the things those people are going through with like not having technology, not having electricity, y'all. Like, we sitting up here recording right now, like effortlessly, like it ain't nothing. And a lot of us will complain about, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. There are people who don't even have clean water and are struggling really bad because of their country. Their country's not even in a state or space to help them. And even though we struggle with a lot of things over here, racism, discrimination, all that, we still have more liberation. We still have more freedoms. So I always go back to that. The fact that I'm blessed, the fact that I'm in my right mind, the fact that I'm able to take care of myself, you know, okay, a client or two may leave, but I always know something else will happen and open up for me. I'm not going to like stress about that. I'm going to find ways to be grateful. And most importantly, I really count this breath in my body, because I have lost some people, and it has put me in a space to continue to, really embrace my life.
Yeah.
You know, one scary thing, I know you know about that. Your story in itself is powerful, you know. And on the way back from Mexico last week, my wife and I were on the plane coming back home to Dallas, and the plane did like a nosedive. We were having bad turbulence, and they didn't announce it because they were not expecting it. Yeah,
Lord,
this was scary. What I tell you, it was, our stomachs flipped. We were kind of sick when we got back because of how much the turbulence is, but how the plane just dropped. It wasn't no little drop. I was like, what the fuck? Everybody was up, and people were raising up their windows in the plane trying to figure out what was going on. The turbulence was really bad for at least about 7 minutes. But that initial drop, it did something to me. It just made me realize that life can be gone just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, since I've been back, I've been really thinking about like that moment. And it's been really like having me see things even different. Like, I can be gone. It don't even have to be cancer. It could have been that moment where I just could have been, that plane could have, you know. Wow. So it's stuff like that. I could be outside, getting in my car, going to get something to eat, anything, you know. But I'm grateful that I'm making it another day. So find gratitude. Just find gratitude knowing that you'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll be all right.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want to get on a plane again.
I know. I mean,
but they said that because the atmosphere is getting worse, it's going to be a lot more of that. Mm-hmm. And people that will believe in climate,
that climate change, and that's exactly what I was watching the other night about Nigeria, the oil, the climate changing over the next few years, the next couple decades. If we don't figure out ways to clean up our environment, we all gonna be wiped out. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say that, but I mean, it's real.
It's real, sure.
You know,
it's real.
So it made me think about all that.
Okay, I appreciate you for just doing this podcast with me.
No problem.
Man,
I hope it was amazing.
It was, definitely. And I'm pretty sure you helping somebody when you're telling your story. Mm-hmm. And after all the things that you've been through, you're still standing. Still making it. Still going through it, you know. Mm-hmm. And living your best life. Mm-hmm.
I'm living my best life.
Tell people how to follow you and where they can go and find you.
Yeah, y'all can find me. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Detox Life Coaching. That's DEETOX Life Coaching, all one word. Like the detox tea, but it's DEE, right? Find me on there. I'm on Facebook as well. You can even Google me. Google Detox Life Coaching Services. I'll come up. It'll take you to my website and to all my social media platforms. So, yeah, reach out if you need me. You can get my book. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Cool. Well, y'all, that's another little episode of Still Standing. I appreciate y'all watching. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to like and share my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Get this out there so we can help other people, you know, just be in a better place.
That part.
All right. See y'all.
Peace.